Ravi stood on the bustling street corner, the morning sun just breaking through the city haze. In one hand, he held a battered tea kettle, in the other, a worn-out cup. He had barely enough money to buy his next set of ingredients, and the thought of paying rent this month made his stomach churn. The people passing by didn't see him. They didn't notice his small tea cart or the effort he put into every cup he served. To the world, he was invisible. But Ravi had a dream that seemed laughable to everyone around him, a dream that would take him from the noise of the streets to the polished floors of boardrooms. And though he didn't know it then, that tiny tea cart would be the first step toward building a $1 million empire. Every morning, Ravi would wake before the city stirred. He would gather his supplies, arrange his cart, and prepare to face a crowd that barely spared him a glance. Some days, he sold only a handful of cups. Some days, the rain would pour and no one would stop. He remembered the nights lying awake on the cold floor of his tiny rented room, wondering how he would survive another day. Yet, even in those moments, a fire burned inside him. While most people in his position would accept defeat, Ravi refused to settle for ordinary. He wanted more than survival. He wanted success. One afternoon, as he served chai to a group of hurried office workers, Ravi noticed a small cafe across the street. The cafe was modest, not flashy, yet it was packed. People were smiling, chatting, enjoying their drinks. Something clicked in Ravi's mind. It wasn't the expensive chairs or the fancy lights that drew people. It was the experience. The staff knew their customers' names. Every drink was served with care. The ambiance felt personal. Ravi realized then that he didn't need a lot of money to succeed. He needed creativity, observation, and relentless effort. That day, he decided to pay attention to everything: how drinks were prepared, how customers were treated, how small details created a big difference. He started jotting notes in his tattered notebook, marking ideas for flavors, promotions, and customer service. Ravi's first step was simple. He improved his tea. A pinch more ginger, a touch of cardamom, and always served with a smile. He experimented tirelessly, sometimes running out of ingredients, sometimes spilling tea on himself. But he persisted. Word slowly spread. People who had ignored him before began stopping, curious to see what was different. From selling 10 cups a day, he began selling 30, then 50, until the line stretched beyond his small corner. His confidence grew with every cup, every smile, every returning customer. It was small, humble progress, but it was progress nonetheless. And as Ravi would later say, even the tallest building starts with laying one brick at a time. Just as things started to look promising, Ravi faced a harsh reality. A big chain cafe opened just 2 blocks away. Bright lights, professional staff, fancy menus. Many would have surrendered, many did. Ravi didn't. He knew he couldn't compete with money, but he could compete with heart. He focused on what made his small operation unique: personal attention, unique flavors, and community trust. He started remembering regulars' names, learning their favorite orders, and even giving small freebies to children who passed by. While the chain relied on scale and polish, Ravi relied on authentic connection. Slowly, people realized that his tea cart offered more than just tea. It offered care, warmth, and a story. Years of persistence finally bore fruit. With some savings and a small loan, Ravi opened his first cafe. It wasn't luxurious, but it was his. The local community embraced it instantly. The cafe became a hub for conversation, laughter, and connection. Social media noticed. A local blogger wrote about the tea cart turned cafe, and soon Ravi's story went viral. From street corners to city centers, people began to recognize him. Customers traveled miles just to taste his tea and hear his story. The small tea cart that had once barely sold a dozen cups a day had become a symbol of hope and determination. Ravi didn't stop there. He studied branding, marketing, and management. He trained employees, standardized recipes, and expanded slowly but strategically. Within 5 years, he owned multiple cafes across the city. He hired hundreds, gave opportunities to people like him, and built a company culture rooted in empathy and excellence. His revenue crossed 7 figures, but more importantly, his journey inspired thousands. From struggling on the street to speaking on stages, mentoring young entrepreneurs, and receiving media recognition, Ravi became a living example of what persistence, creativity, and belief can achieve. Ravi's story teaches us some undeniable truths. Dream big, start small. Even a street vendor can build a global brand if he starts with small, consistent steps. Adapt and innovate. Challenges are inevitable. How you respond defines your future. People over profits. Success comes when you value your customers, employees, and community. Persistence beats talent. Most people give up too soon. Stick with it, and you'll win. He often says, your struggles are not walls, they are stepping stones. Your smallest effort today can be the foundation of $1 million tomorrow. If Ravi's journey moved you, don't just scroll past. Take a small action today. Start something. Improve one skill. Serve one customer better than yesterday. And if you want more stories that fuel your ambition, ignite your dreams, and teach real-life success, subscribe to Think Rich Tales. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a story that could change your life. Remember, every empire begins with one step. The street corner where Ravi started, that was the beginning. Where will your first step take you? From a small tea cart to $1 million empire, success is possible for anyone willing to dream, learn, and fight. What are you waiting for?